Religion was never sent to shrink the human heart, yet, when misunderstood, it becomes the very force that hardens it. Ibn Arabi reminds us that the problem has never been divine truth, but the human lens through which that truth is seen. When religion is misunderstood, humanity suffers not because faith is flawed, but because the human ego intrudes where humility is required. Ibn Arabi teaches that divine reality is vast, limitless, and endlessly merciful, yet people often reduce it into narrow doctrines shaped by fear, identity, and power. In doing so, they mistake the container for the ocean, the word for the meaning, and the rule for the truth itself. Religion, meant to awaken the soul, becomes a tool to judge, divide, and dominate. According to Ibn Arabi, God reveals himself according to the capacity of the heart receiving him. A heart filled with love sees mercy everywhere, while a heart confined by rigidity sees enemies everywhere. Thus, suffering does not arise from religion, but from constricted hearts that refuse to expand. When humans claim exclusive ownership of truth, they unknowingly turn divine wisdom into a weapon. They forget that the infinite cannot be imprisoned within a single interpretation. Ibn Arabi speaks of Wahdat al-Wujood, the unity of existence where all creation is a manifestation of the same divine reality. In this vision, harming another in the name of religion is, in essence, harming oneself, yet misunderstanding blinds people to this unity. They separate sacred from profane, us from them, believer from unbeliever, not realizing that these divisions exist only at the surface, not at the root of being. History bears witness to this misunderstanding. Wars fought in God's name, cruelty justified by Scripture, compassion sacrificed for dogma. Ibn Arabi would argue that such acts emerge when religion is filtered through the ego rather than the heart. The ego seeks certainty, control, and superiority, while the heart seeks recognition, humility, and love. When the ego dominates faith, religion becomes a prison. When the heart leads, religion becomes a bridge. True religion, in Ibn Arabi's vision, is not about conformity, but transformation. It is not about proving others wrong, but about realizing the divine presence within oneself and within all of existence. Every path that sincerely seeks truth reflects a face of the one truth. To deny this is to deny the vastness of God himself. Humanity suffers today, not because it believes too much, but because it understands too little. We memorize verses yet forget wisdom, defend symbols yet abandon spirit, and cling to labels while losing meaning. Ibn Arabi invites us to return to a religion of awareness, where love is the criterion and mercy is the measure of truth. When religion is finally understood as a path to inner awakening rather than outer dominance, suffering gives way to compassion, conflict dissolves into understanding, and humanity remembers what faith was always meant to be, a mirror reflecting the divine, not a wall dividing creation. Religion itself is not the source of suffering. Rather, suffering emerges from the limits of human perception. Ibn Arabi consistently reminds us that divine truth is infinite, while the human mind is finite, shaped by culture, language, fear, and desire. When revelation descends into the human world, it must pass through these limits, and in that passage, misunderstanding becomes possible. The tragedy begins when people forget this difference and treat their own understanding as if it were identical with the divine itself. At that moment, humility is replaced by certainty, and certainty hardens into dogma. For Ibn Arabi, God is not confined to a single form, idea, or interpretation. The divine reveals himself in countless ways, according to the capacity of each heart. One person may encounter God as mercy, another as justice, another as beauty, and another as awe. None of these experiences are false, yet none are complete. The problem arises when a person mistakes a partial vision for the whole, believing that what they have seen is all that exists. This confusion transforms religion from a path of awakening into a battlefield of competing certainties. Human limitation is not a flaw, it is a condition of being human. Ibn Arabi does not condemn difference in understanding, but he warns against absolutizing it. He teaches that the infinite cannot be grasped by a single intellect, no matter how learned or sincere. When religion is approached with this awareness, it becomes a source of humility and wonder. When this awareness is lost, religion becomes a rigid structure that demands obedience rather than insight. The mind clings to formulas, rules, and labels because they offer a sense of control. Even when they strip faith of its living spirit, suffering emerges when people confuse the map with the territory. Sacred texts, laws, and doctrines are meant to guide the seeker, not replace the truth they point toward. Ibn Arabi emphasizes that words about God are not God, just as the name of fire does not burn. Yet misunderstanding leads people to defend words as if they were the reality itself. In doing so, they elevate interpretation to the level of revelation and close themselves off from deeper understanding. What was meant to open the heart instead narrows it. This narrowing has consequences not only for the individual, but for society as a whole. When each group claims exclusive access to truth, dialogue becomes impossible. Difference is perceived as a threat rather than a sign of divine vastness. Fear replaces curiosity, and judgment replaces compassion. Ibn Arabi would say that such fear is born from ignorance of God's immensity. If the divine is truly infinite, then no single belief can exhaust him, and no single path can contain him fully. The ego plays a subtle role in this process. Human limitation becomes dangerous only when it is denied. Instead of acknowledging this is how I see, the ego declares this is how it is. Ibn Arabi identifies this as a spiritual blindness, where the self projects its own boundaries onto the divine. Religion, then, becomes a mirror of the ego rather than a means of transcending it. In this state, faith serves identity and power instead of truth and transformation. Ibn Arabi's vision invites a radical shift to see religion not as possession, but as relationship. Truth is not something one owns, it is something one encounters. Each encounter is real, yet incomplete, calling for openness rather than dominance. When this perspective is embraced, disagreement no longer leads to hostility, because difference is understood as a natural outcome of infinite truth meeting finite minds. Diversity of understanding becomes the ego enters faith quietly, often disguised as devotion, certainty, or loyalty to tradition. Ibn Arabi warns that when the heart is absent, religion does not disappear, it becomes distorted. What was meant to soften the soul begins to harden it, and what was meant to liberate the human being begins to control him. The ego does not reject religion, it uses religion, shaping it into a structure that protects identity, status, and power rather than nurturing awareness and love. According to Ibn Arabi, the heart is the true locus of divine knowledge, not the intellect alone. The heart is expansive, capable of holding paradox, ambiguity, and difference, while the ego seeks clarity, dominance, and certainty. When faith flows through the heart, it produces humility, compassion, and recognition of shared humanity. When it flows through the ego, it produces division, self-righteousness, and obsession with being right. This is how religion, when misunderstood, becomes a source of suffering rather than healing. The ego is deeply uncomfortable with uncertainty. It craves fixed boundaries and clear enemies because these give it a sense of security. Religion, when reduced to rigid rules and identities, provides exactly that. Ibn Arabi observes that people often cling to religious forms not because they have tasted truth, but because those forms stabilize the self. In such cases, faith becomes a shelter for fear rather than a journey toward understanding. The heart, by contrast, is willing to remain open, even when answers are incomplete. When the ego dominates faith, moral superiority replaces moral responsibility. People become more concerned with judging others than refining themselves. Ibn Arabi would say that this is a sign of distance from God, not closeness. True proximity to the divine reveals one's own limitations and shortcomings, not the faults of others. The more a person claims spiritual authority over others, the more likely is that ego has taken the place of the heart. This ego center religion thrives on exclusion. It draws sharp lines between believer and unbeliever, pure and impure, saved and condemned. Such divisions give the ego a sense of importance, but they contradict the deeper spiritual reality Ibn Arabi points toward. He teaches that divine mercy precedes judgment and that God's self-disclosure takes countless forms. To reduce this vast mercy to a narrow group is not devotion, but contraction of the soul. The heart-centered faith Ibn Arabi envisions does not abandon law or tradition, but it transcends rigidity. It understands rules as means, not ends. The ego treats religious practice as a badge of identity, while the heart treats it as a tool for transformation. One seeks recognition, the other seeks purification. When practices are emptied of inner awareness, they become hollow rituals, easily weaponized against others. Ibn Arabi often emphasizes that the heart must remain in a state of constant receptivity. He famously describes the perfected heart as one that can take on every form, recognizing truth wherever it appears. This does not mean abandoning discernment, but refining it through love rather than fear. The ego resists this openness because it threatens its control. Openness requires vulnerability, and vulnerability dissolves false authority. Human suffering increases when ego-driven religion dominates societies. Conflict escalates, compassion erodes, and violence becomes justifiable in the name of righteousness. Ibn Arabi would argue that such violence is not a sign of strong faith, but of faith emptied of heart. When the heart is present, even disagreement carries respect. When it is absent, even agreement breeds hostility. The cure, in Ibn Arabi's vision, is not less religion but deeper religion, a return from ego to heart. This return transforms faith from an ideology into an experience, from a system of control into a path of the idea that violence can be committed in the name of God rests on a fundamental contradiction, one that Ibn Arabi exposes through his vision of the unity of existence. Wahdat al-Wujood teaches that all being flows from a single divine reality, manifesting in countless forms without ever leaving its source. Nothing exists outside this reality, and no creature stands apart from the divine presence that sustains it. From this perspective, harming another being is not merely a moral failure, but a metaphysical ignorance, a failure to recognize the one appearing as the many. Ibn Arabi insists that separation is an illusion born of limited perception. Human beings see distinctions because they live at the level of forms, names, and identities, yet beneath these surface differences lies a shared essence. Religion, when properly understood, is meant to lift the veil that hides this unity. When misunderstood, it reinforces the veil, teaching people to see others as strangers, enemies, or obstacles to salvation. In such a state, violence becomes imaginable, even righteous, because the deeper reality of unity has been forgotten. Within the framework of Wahdat al-Wujood, every encounter is an encounter with the divine in a particular form. Ibn Arabi goes so far as to suggest that God reveals himself in the beliefs of every believer, according to their capacity. This does not mean that all beliefs are equal at the level of doctrine, but it does mean that divine presence is not absent from any sincere search for meaning. To deny this presence in others is to deny the expansiveness of God himself, reducing the infinite to a narrow image shaped by fear and self-interest. Violence justified by religion often rises from mistaking difference for denial of truth. When people believe that God stands exclusively on their side, unity collapses into rivalry. Ibn Arabi would say that this belief stems from confusing God with one's own concept of God. Concepts are limited, shaped by language and culture, while the divine reality transcends all conceptual boundaries. When a concept is defended as absolute, it becomes an idol, and violence in its defense becomes a form of worship of the self rather than of God. The unity of existence also reshapes the meaning of justice and responsibility. If all beings participate in a single reality, then ethical action cannot be reduced to loyalty to one group or doctrine. Harm done to another reverberates through the whole. because there is no true other at the deepest level. Ibn Arabi's vision challenges believers to see ethics not as obedience enforced by fear, but as recognition flowing from awareness. Compassion becomes a natural consequence of understanding, not a moral burden imposed from outside. This perspective does not erase difference or dissolve moral discernment. Ibn Arabi does not deny the existence of error, injustice, or harm. What he denies is the legitimacy of hatred rooted in spiritual ignorance. One can resist wrongdoing without denying the humanity or divine reflection in the wrongdoer. In fact, recognizing unity makes ethical responsibility heavier, not lighter, because one cannot excuse cruelty by projecting evil onto an external enemy. The struggle shifts inward, from destroying the other to purifying perception. When religion loses this metaphysical grounding, it becomes vulnerable to manipulation by power and fear. Political ambitions, tribal loyalties, and personal resentments cloak themselves in sacred language. Ibn Arabi would interpret this as a sign that the outward form of religion has been severed from its inward truth. Without the awareness of unity, symbols become weapons, and rituals become markers of exclusion rather than reminders of shared origin. The recovery of unity transforms religion from a battlefield into a meeting place. Disagreement no longer requires dehumanization, and conviction no longer demands cruelty. In recognizing that the same divine reality breathes through all existence, the believer is compelled toward humility, patience, and mercy. Violence in God's name loses its foundation, because God is no longer imagined as a distant authority to be defended, but as the living reality present in every face, every breath, and every moment of being.